I knew before she did. That was the cruel irony of it all. She thought she was hiding her secret like a master thief, while I'd already seen the entire crime unfold in slow motion. Started with a password change. My favorite channel for old evil and dangerous history, Old Wicked History, gives very interesting stories. You should also watch it and subscribe, please. Security reasons, she said with a nervous smile, waving her phone in front of me as if she were doing something responsible. But when you've been married 12 years, you can read between the gestures. The way her hand trembled slightly, how she avoided eye contact, how she pretended to scroll to look busy. Her name was Claire. Mine's Ethan. We weren't perfect, no marriages, but we'd built a life together. A home filled with photos from hikes, lazy Sundays, and the kind of laughter that only comes from shared history. Or at least I thought we had. But something had been slipping between us lately. Something silent and heavy. She was always working late. Always too tired. The hugs turned brief, mechanical. Her perfume lingered when she left, and sometimes I caught the faintest trace of cologne that wasn't mine clinging to her hair when she came home. I wasn't the jealous type. But I wasn't stupid either. So I watched. Not the obsessive kind of watching, the quiet, patient kind. The kind that notices patterns. The night she claimed she was with Sophie from accounting, I checked Sophie's Instagram. She was in Bali posting beach photos. The night Claire said her phone died, her Find My Device app showed her at a Marriott downtown. That was the night I stopped being the naive husband. And I started planning. The next few weeks I became the perfect partner. Attentive, helpful, warm. She mistook my calmness for cluelessness. It was almost insulting how easily she underestimated me. When she laughed at texts at midnight, I kissed her forehead and pretended not to notice. When she claimed she needed a spa day, I handed her my card with a smile. Every lie she told built the wall I'd one day use to crush her world. But I needed proof, hard proof. So I reached out to an old college friend, Marcus, who worked in digital forensics. I told him everything. He didn't say much, just nodded and handed me a small flash drive. Just plug this into her laptop for 2 minutes, he said. It'll record everything. Emails, texts, logins. You'll have your answers. That night, after she fell asleep, I plugged it in. My hands trembled. I hated what I was doing. But not as much as I hated what I already knew. When I opened the file the next morning, my heart cracked open. Dozens of messages. Photos. Videos. His name was Darren. Her manager. The same man who sat across from us at the company Christmas party last year, shaking my hand and thanking me for sharing such a wonderful woman with the team. They'd been seeing each other for nearly 8 months. It wasn't just physical. She told him things she used to tell me. Her dreams. Her fears. Her frustrations. And the part that gutted me most. She wrote to him. I feel like I can finally breathe when I'm with you. I stared at those words until they blurred. Then I closed the laptop, poured myself a drink and smiled. Not because I found it funny, but because something inside me had snapped so cleanly that it almost sounded like clarity. She thought she was playing chess. But she'd forgotten who taught her the game. I didn't confront her immediately. Well, that's what she expected. She expected rage, accusations, maybe tears. That would give her the upper hand. She could play the victim, twist the narrative, run to him for comfort. So instead I became patient, strategic. Over the next few weeks, I began gathering more evidence. Screenshots, bank statements, hotel receipts. Quietly, meticulously. I even recorded a phone conversation between them, her laughing, whispering, "I'll tell him soon. He deserves to know, but I need the right moment." The right moment, huh? I decided I'd give it to her. 3 Fridays later, she told me she'd be attending a team-building conference at the Hyatt. I kissed her goodbye at the door, smiled, and told her to enjoy herself. As soon as she drove off, I called Marcus. It's time. He met me at the hotel that evening. We reserved a room 2 floors above hers. Through the keycard data I'd obtained, we confirmed she'd checked in, under her company's name, and Darren had joined her 20 minutes later. I didn't go storming in like some vengeful movie hero. Instead, I had the hotel manager, an old acquaintance, deliver a sealed envelope to their door at midnight. Inside was a USB drive containing their photos, videos, and text exchanges. Everything. And a simple note from me. "You're free now. Both of you. I'm done pretending. Check the company's HR email in the morning." Because, you see, Darren wasn't just her manager. He was a married manager. And their company had a strict non-fraternization policy. By morning, both of them were suspended pending investigation. Claire came home the next day, pale and trembling. Her lies collapsed the moment she saw me calmly making breakfast. "Ethan, please. I can explain." "Then explain," I said without looking up. "Because I think I've seen enough to fill a novel." Tears streamed down her face. "It wasn't supposed to happen this way." "Stop," I interrupted, finally meeting her eyes. "You made a choice." Repeatedly. Every lie, every secret meeting. Those weren't accidents. Those were decisions. She covered her face, sobbing. "I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't mean to get caught," I said quietly. Her voice broke. "What are you going to do?" I looked at her long and hard. This woman I once would have burned the world for, and said the coldest truth I'd ever spoken. "Nothing. I already did." The fallout was brutal. Her affair went public within days. HR terminated both her and Darren. His wife filed for divorce. And Claire, she lost everything. The friends she gossiped with at work stopped answering her calls. Even her family, embarrassed, distanced themselves. Meanwhile, I filed for divorce with the evidence attached. My lawyer said it was one of the cleanest cases he'd ever seen. Claire tried reaching out, texts, calls, emails. I ignored them all until she finally showed up at my door weeks later, eyes hollow, clutching an envelope. "I don't expect forgiveness," she whispered. I wanted you to know I'm sorry." I let her speak, but I didn't invite her in. "Claire," I said quietly, "you were the person I trusted most. The one I built my life around. And you turned that trust into a weapon. Do you have any idea how that feels?" She nodded, tears spilling down. "Every night. I can't escape it." For a moment, I almost pitied her. Almost. But then I remembered the messages, the laughter, the secrecy. "Then live with it," I said. Because I had to. I closed the door before she could answer. Months passed. The house felt emptier but also lighter. The quiet no longer hurt, it healed. I started running again, something I'd given up years ago. I reconnected with old friends, even took a solo trip to the mountains. One evening, as I sat watching the sunset from my porch, Marcus joined me with 2 beers. "So, you ever think about what would have happened if you confronted her earlier?" he asked. I thought for a long moment. "Yeah," I said. "She probably would have cried, denied, manipulated. I would have forgiven her. And nothing would have changed." He nodded slowly. "So, you don't regret how you handled it?" I took a sip, letting the cool air fill my lungs. "No. I didn't just expose her. I exposed who I became because of her. The man who refuses to be fooled, who knows his worth." He clinked his bottle against mine. "To closure, then." "To closure," I echoed. 6 months later I got a letter from Claire. No pleading, no apologies. Just one line. "I finally understand what I destroyed. I hope someday you can find peace." I folded it carefully, placed it in a drawer, and left it there, unopened to the past. Because peace, I realized, isn't something you find after revenge. It's what you reclaim when you stop letting someone else's betrayal define your worth. And that was my final strike. Not the exposure, not the downfall, but the quiet, unshakable peace of knowing I'd walked away stronger. That night I stood by the window, looking out at the rain. Once, her absence would have torn me apart. Now it just reminded me how far I'd come. Betrayal had broken something in me, yes, but it also rebuilt something better. And as I turned off the light, I whispered to the dark. Not for her but for myself. "I was aware you were cheating. But you never saw how I'd rise after you fell.